So this just in, and this was actually after the Bulls finalized their last two-way spot in signing the Turkish guard Bitim, the Bulls have agreed to a contract extension for restricted free agent Ayo Dosunmu, 3 years, $21 million. A bit of an overpay, in my opinion, anyway. I mean, I love Ayo Dosunmu, and I was hoping the Bulls would be able to keep him. But obviously, when you give him a qualifying offer at $5.2 million, you would assume that that's probably a good amount for someone like Ayo, who still has a lot of work to do on his game. I do still think he has a lot of potential, both from a defensive standpoint as well, from offense as well. But broken shot, which doesn't help, given the Bulls absolutely need shooting. And at $7 million per year, which is going to be the average, you'd have to think, were they really bidding against themselves here? Were there really other teams out there who were going to be willing to shell out that kind of money for someone like Ayo Dosunmu when the free agency market was, for the most part, pretty dried up in terms of the cap space that teams had available to them? So I don't really know how to feel about this quite yet. I need to process it a little more. Obviously, I'm breaking it as the news is coming in. You would have to think that the first year of the overall contract is going to be a little bit less than $7 million. Most contracts are backloaded over the course of their overall term. But if that's the case, and the Bulls are looking at close to $7 million for this first year anyway, that puts them awfully close to the luxury tax line, which severely limits their ability to bring in other players on those final 2 roster spots with the limited tax base that they have. I think this all but clears the fact that Christian Wood is likely not going to be joining the team again unless the Bulls wish to go into the tax, which is a possibility. I'm not saying that it's out of the question, but I would say it's very, very unlikely. And so for the Bulls, depending on how the numbers shake out, this likely leaves them with around $2 million in tax space before they hit that line, which would probably leave enough for one vet minimum deal roster spot. So we'll see how things transpire, but a lot for someone like Ayo Dosunmu. I did not expect him to get that kind of payday, mainly because a lot of teams out there didn't really have cap space to be able to offer him that kind of deal, so it was really in the Bulls' best interest to try to get him on a cheap qualifying offer deal. But I also get at the same time, you want to reward your players, you want to show that you're an organization that is going to take care of your players, and again, Ayo is a very young player. You don't want to just let him walk for nothing. So Bulls re-signed Ayo. He's going to remain with the team for an additional 3 years. We'll have to see whether or not all of that is guaranteed. But until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.